After a fun few weeks exploring Te Anau, the Milford Sounds and the Doubtful Sounds, it was time to continue exploring the Fiordland National Park, and we headed south towards Lake Monowai, a large lake in the southern part of the Fiordland National Park, about 120 kilometres northwest of Invercargill. So we wrapped up our 2-day adventure in the Fiordland National Park and we headed south, ending up at Monowai Lake. We're heading up to the lookout now to check out what the lake looks like. Are these all beech trees, Kane?
Yeah, so what you got here is you got your beech tree. And what you'll notice is that it's quite open, and the beech tree is forever green, so it's always green. But when they drop their leaves on the ground, and as it starts to break up, it creates quite an acidity soil, so nothing else can really grow on it. That's why you get these quite open, sort of mossy grounds underneath it. Got the inner conservation coming out in here. It's trying to clear the track.
I haven't even lost it.
Come on, that's it. Give it a wiggle. That's it. Wiggle a little bit further.
It's heavy. So we've made it to the lake lookout. I wanted a little bit of perspective on how big the lake was, and as you can see, I'm not going to get it. There's a lot of fog. I can only just see the water out here in front of me, so don't really know how big this lake is. After our walk to the Lake Monowai lookout, we headed across the way to check out the power station. It's one of the oldest hydroelectric stations in the South Island, and it's located at the junction of the Waiau and Monowai rivers. It was opened in 1925. The fog was still around and there was lots of frost on the ground. However, the Lake Monowai dock campsite is a great spot to park up, enjoy some of the walks and some of the beautiful nature and scenery that the South Island has to offer. You can stay right on the edge of Lake Monowai in a dock campsite, and it's easily accessible to some great tramping, hunting, boating and fishing. From Lake Monowai, it was time to pack up and continue our journey into the south, heading for the southernmost part of New Zealand, Bluff. On our way, we wanted to check out Riverton. We'd heard that there were some great surf spots in Riverton and the promise of long left-hand rides. On the way though, we checked out some of the cool little coastal communities, beaches and walks. It's a beautiful rugged coastline and is certainly very picturesque. Okay, so we've officially made it to the bottom of the South Island, and I've ran to the top of the Bluff Hill here to get some shots for you. So we've made it to Bluff, which is the southernmost town of the South Island. And we've arrived here at one of the freedom camping spots. Now this spot isn't on either of the apps, it's just private property, and there's a nice view out over the water behind us, even though it is pretty stormy out there. Just made it into the Catlins Catlins, and we're heading down the scenic coastal route to check out everything that this region has to offer. We've come down off the main scenic highway to Slope Point. Now Slope Point is the southernmost point of the South Island, and it's a 20-minute walk to actually reach it from the car park here. Good morning. So we stayed at Waikawa, the Freedom camping spot, last night, and it's been quite wet, but there's not a heap to do here. There is the promise of some of the rare breed of dolphins. Was it the Hector dolphin?
The Hector dolphin is correct.
The Hector dolphin, which is quite a rare breed. Just in this bay here, there is a breeding ground of them. You may, in the summer months, get to see dolphins out the front here. We're gonna go head off now, continue our journey through the Catlins, and we're gonna check out all the waterfalls that the region has to offer. Apparently there's a handful of must-visit waterfalls.
Make it click!
Okay, so we've come about 4 k's up the road from Waikawa to our first waterfall. I was expecting big things called Niagara Falls, but I think maybe the person that named this had a funny sense of humour because the falls are pretty small. So Kane thinks the Niagara Falls is not as big as it normally would be because it's been so much rain. I'm convinced that it's a bit of a joke. So I'm just sitting here at the car park off McLean Falls, having a bit of breakfast, trying to convince myself, well, all of us, to go for a walk to the falls. It's about 40 minutes return, but it's pretty wet outside. So, not too keen to do it, but we just spoke to a couple that have come back and they said it's really worth it, so watch this space. So we decided to brave the weather and head to the McLean Falls. So this is why you always should take umbrellas, so that you can go hiking in the rain. It's a beautiful, easy walk through the native bush. The weather was quite wet and there was a few fairly deep puddles on the track. Otherwise, it was an easy, well-maintained walk. The waterfall is a 22-metre cascade waterfall surrounded on both sides by dark green mossy rocks. It really was an awesome waterfall and a must-see if you're travelling through the Catlins.
Through this area is unbelievable after this amount of rain. Absolutely astonishing.
It was a great easy walk, and even in the rain we really enjoyed it. And thankfully for us, there's plenty of places inside our motorhome to dry out wet clothes. From the McLean's Falls, we didn't really have a set destination, so we just hit the road to see where we would end up. So we drove from Waikawa, where we stayed last night, checked out a few waterfalls and pretty much kept driving to Balclutha, where we decided that we might leave the Catlins. Probably wasn't my favourite place. I think the weather hasn't been great and you know it's cold and wet and a lot of the things you want to do here are outdoors, so we decided we're just going to continue driving and see where we end up tonight. From Balclutha we headed towards Central Otago. we ended up in a small town called Roxburgh. It's located approximately halfway between Dunedin and Queenstown on the banks of the Clutha River. We stayed at a beautiful parkover property just outside of town. The town is well known for growing summer fruits. Strawberries, apples, raspberries and pears are all grown here. We'd heard some great things about an old mining town called St. Bathans. So we decided to head towards St. Bathans and check it out. There's an old pub and a huge lake, which is the remnants of an old gold mining pit. In 1887, St. Bathans was a bustling town with around 2,000 miners living in the immediate vicinity. Some of the buildings from the era remain today, so it's very easy as you walk through the town to imagine what it was like during the gold rush here. Close to the town, the Blue Lake was created by extensive mining activity beginning in 1864. By 1933, the hill had become a 168-metre deep pit. Then, in 1934, mining was halted because the sides of the pit were getting too close to the town. The huge hole has allowed to fill with water to create today's beautiful lake. Thanks for watching episode 7 as we've explored a whole range of the deep south of New Zealand. Tune in for episode 8 where we head to Nasby for some curling.